Hey there and welcome back to MurderTube. Now our case today is a tragic tale of a happy and loving young child evolving into a troubled and delinquent teenager. Alcohol, drugs, law enforcement, mental illness, and of course, murder. This is the case of Hammer Boy. His actual name is Tyler Hadley, and he was born in St. Lucie County, Florida, on the 16th of December 1993. As a young child, he was a normal kid, other than his mother giving him human growth hormones, worrying that he would get bullied. But it was when he started high school that his attitude started to change, and we're not just talking the typical teenage stage that a lot of kids go through. He started to drink, and he drank in excess. He was into drugs, and we are not just talking marijuana, we are talking hard drugs. His parents couldn't control him, but they did try. In the River Park Wildlife Preserve, Tyler found an abandoned couch, and he thought it would be a fun idea to douse it in gasoline and set it alight. The fire of course spread, and firefighters had to battle the blaze. The police were involved, but Tyler faced no jail time. On another occasion, Tyler was involved in a burglary. The police were again involved, but Tyler again faced no jail time. On the 10th of April 2011, Tyler got into a fight at a friend's house. He was arrested and charged with aggravated battery. Due to already having a juvenile criminal history, he was sentenced to 1 week in jail and 2 weeks of house arrest. His mother was furious and she confiscated his phone and also grounded him. Although she was furious, she was also concerned about her son. She suffered from depression for many years, and she worried that Tyler suffered from it too. For a brief time, she had him sectioned at a mental health clinic and also prescribed antidepressants. Because his cell phone was confiscated, he had to talk to his friends on Facebook Messenger, and that is where he had a conversation with one of his friends, Isadora. "What are you doing?" "Nothing. Considering suicide." "Why?" Because I want to die, I guess." He also told her that he drinks to excess because it fills the emptiness inside me, and that all my smiles are fake. But by the end of June, his mother believed that he was doing much better. She believed he was over the hurdle, and she felt that he was back to himself. And then the 17-year-old Tyler began to plan a house party, without his parents' permission, of course. He started telling friends a week before that he would be having a party on the weekend, but his friends were a little bit skeptical because they knew Tyler was still in a lot of trouble with his parents, and there was no way they would let him have a party, especially an underage party, in their house. But Tyler assured them that he was going to be having this party, he would set it up, and he would let them know once it's all confirmed. On July 16th, 2011, Tyler confirmed on Facebook that the party would be going ahead. He took a few ecstasy pills, went out to an ATM, and went and picked up some friends. He flashed to them some cash that was about $5,000. They picked up some alcohol and they went back to start the party. About 60 teenagers showed up to this house party throughout the night. They played beer pong, they drank alcohol, they smoked cigars, and a few of them even started dealing marijuana and white pills. Tyler seemed to be in a good mood and hospitable, although it was evident from his pupils that he was rolling on ecstasy. As the teenagers partied, they played music on the family computer. Someone had spilled some beer or some soda all over the keyboard, as there was some brown, sticky substance on it, but obviously the teenagers didn't care, they kept using it, they kept playing music. The party raged on until about 4 a.m. in the morning, and they left the house in a huge mess and damaged in areas. Now the teens were just there for a good time, of course, but if they had paid a little bit of attention, they maybe would have noticed something a little bit weird. Tyler's parents had gone out somewhere, according to Tyler, but their vehicles were on the driveway. There was one room in the house that no one could get into because the door was locked. Inside the locked bedroom were the bloody bodies of Tyler's parents, 54-year-old Blake Hadley and 47-year-old Mary Jo Hadley. Not only had Tyler murdered his own parents, he had also planned it for weeks. He told friends he wanted to kill his parents and throw a party afterwards because no one had done that before. At around 9:40 a.m. on the morning of the party day, Tyler messaged with his friend Matt Nobile. "Did you do it? No, but I'm gonna. Bet? You really should now. Do it. Don't worry, I am. Then I'm having a party. Yeah, party time." Tyler worried that he wouldn't be able to go through with the murders, at least not while sober, so he took a few ecstasy pills. Then he took their cell phones and hid them so that they wouldn't be able to call for help. He went to the garage and grabbed a hammer, and then he went to his mother, who was on the family computer. He stood behind his mum for about 5 minutes, working up the courage to kill her. And then he began to swing the hammer at the back of her head from behind her. The initial scream that she let out caused his dad to come running into the room, and Tyler locked eyes with him. And then he began the brutal assault on his dad also. After he had killed them both, he dragged their bodies to the bedroom and locked the door. He spent about 3 hours cleaning up so that the house would be ready for his party. That sticky brown substance that was all over the computer keyboard that teenagers were touching all night was actually his mother's blood mixed with coffee granules that Tyler had used to try and clean her blood off of the computer. Around 60 teenagers partied in this house for hours with 2 fresh dead bodies just on the other side of a door. Partway through the night, Tyler went outside with one of his friends, and he confessed to this friend what he had done. The friend didn't quite believe him, but then Tyler showed him a bloody footprint in the garage, and then he went and unlocked the bedroom and showed him inside the bedroom where the 2 dead bodies were. As the party was winding down, Tyler told a few of them that he would have a party the following day. Although when the friend that Tyler confessed to had finally left, he sent an anonymous call to the police. Tyler was arrested, and he pled not guilty. Tyler's brother Ryan, who no longer lived at home, said that his parents were awesome and that Tyler was a pathological liar. While awaiting trial, Tyler wrote a letter from prison. "I was just living my life as a normal 17-year-old kid, and next thing I know, I'm in the middle of St. Lucie County Jail. I ruined a lot of people's lives, and I can't seem to forgive myself. I find myself crying a lot because of all the guilt. Every day I beg for forgiveness and ask God not to send me to hell. I don't want to go there. Father Michael told me that if I just confess my sins and repent, then God will forgive me for everything. I just can't get rid of all this guilt. It's swallowing me whole. I'm extremely nervous that I'm going to get a life sentence. It's making me pretty depressed. I want to say I'm really sorry for all the grief I've stirred up. I know everyone thinks I'm a psychopath and all, but I really am sorry for everything. I've been praying every day for forgiveness and for a decent plea offer. I should get one since it's my first offense. I feel extremely bad for Ryan and especially you and my grandparents for the grief I've caused. I feel like Ryan doesn't love me anymore, but I know he does, and he's just going through a rough time. It's so hard going through this. I'm scared and I feel so alone." I wish I could throw back some Miller Lite and smoke a fat strawberry white owl, but I gotta say it feels good to be sober. My head is nice and clear. Make sure you drink some Miller for me. Drink yourself stupid like I used to do. I swear to you, Michael, the devil had a hold on me. I talked to him and he talked to me. That's why I seemed so crazy towards the end. I'm not a cold-blooded monster like everyone thinks I am. I'm a caring person that made a horrible mistake. You gotta let people know that. He did get a plea deal, but maybe not the decent one that he wanted. He pled no contest to 2 counts of first-degree murder, and he was sentenced to 2 life sentences without parole. The death penalty was not an option due to the fact that he was 17 at the time of the murders. The judge called the murder brutal, heinous, and premeditated. In 2018, a court of appeal determined that Tyler should be resentenced due to the fact that the original court did not consider the correct alternative to a life sentence. Tyler's defense were pushing for a 40-year sentence. The new judge determined that the old one had made the correct decision, and Tyler was once again sentenced to 2 life sentences. Fellow inmates call Tyler Hambo and Bam Bam. Tyler himself has signed autographs for inmates, calling himself Hammer Boy. Tyler's letter from prison is another example of someone showing that they are sorry, but for selfish reasons. He can't forgive himself. He doesn't want to go to hell. He's nervous of a life sentence. He's praying for a decent plea officer. He's scared and he feels alone. Personally, I don't believe that, at least back then, I don't know about now, that Tyler had any remorse for his parents or even his family in general. I believe he did regret what he did, but only because of the consequences that he now had to face for his own actions. But that's just my thoughts, kind of based on his letter and this case. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, and be sure to subscribe, and I'll get working on the next video for you guys. Stay safe out there, it is a very crazy world.